For years, Festool have established themselves as one of the world's best tool manufacturers, especially when it comes to carpentry tools. Of course, their revolutionary TS55 plunge saw changed the game for carpenters worldwide. That said, they are so much more than just a plunge saw, so we're going to have a look at what we think is Festool's top 5 tools. Now, of course, I've already mentioned the TS55, but it would be silly not to start with it because, like I said, this thing is revolutionary. Still, to this day, you see carpenters, it doesn't matter what brand they're on. Of course, people remain very loyal to their power tool brands nowadays, but it doesn't matter because Festool set the standard for plunge saws with the TS55. Just the engineering that comes from this, of course, German engineering, you're getting maximum efficiency here. You do have this corded model. There is also an updated TSC 55, which you can also check out, but we thought it made much more sense to mention this tool here because this is the gold standard. Maximum plunge depth of 55 mil. You've also got a nice bevel on here from -1 degrees through to 47 degrees. You do get more flexibility with this as well. You've got a variable speed dial on the back of the body, and of course safety is key, especially when woodworking, which is why you've got a handy dust extraction port on the back as well. Up next, we have the Symmetric SYMC 70 Mitre saw, a very unique kind of mitre saw here as well. This is designed especially for those working with floorboards and with coving and things like that. The reason for that is because rather than mitre cutting using the saw blade itself, you know, moving the entire body, fence is moving instead. So when you are cutting into corners and you want to cut a joint out, you're immediately going to have both angles. You're going to have the reverse angle set out as well because these fences move perpendicular to each other. That's right. Got a 5 in GCSE maths.
5?
That's mid-C. There are other features in which Festool have included to make your life as easy as possible when you're working on the floor. Specifically, one of the things we like about it is that they have designed this with wheels that can be attached to the base. So when you're moving from corner to corner or side to side in the room, you don't have to lug the saw, you know, carry it around, break your back. You don't have to worry about that because you can just wheel it around with ease. In fact, we recently visited Festool for a bit of training and filming for a couple of days, and they actually showed us that with the Symmetric mitre saw, they've designed it so that the height of certain sustainer cases match the height of your mitre saw when on wheels. Now that is going to be ideal when you're working with a much longer piece of material and need extra support. It's also worth noting that you do get this nice angle gauge included by Festool as well, so you could transfer angles easily from your wall or anything straight onto the fences on the saw. Let's look at the TPC 18-4 quad drive combi drill. Now, that is a bit of a mouthful, and that is because there is so much about this drill that you need to check out. First of all, it is worth noting that this is compatible with Festool's Symmetric system, so this chuck is swappable out for a variety of other chucks. You've got a standard screwdriver bit holder, as well as right angle holders and more. It is also worth noting that inside this beast of a combi drill, you actually have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different gear settings to choose from. You have this nice, like, it's quite unique little switcher up top. You know, usually you have the 1, 2 or 1, 2 and 3, but you've got this nice cool little slider, and let me tell you what each gear is for. First gear is more for your slower screw tightening, but if you want quick screwdriving, then you're probably going to want to switch it up to second gear. Then if you're working your way up into proper drilling, you know, with your auger bits and things like that, then you are going to want to switch for mode 3. And fourth gear is, you know, less for your precision, but more just out and out fast, powerful drilling. It's also worth knowing that this is packed with features alongside from that as well, featuring an EC Tech brushless motor for maximum performance and less maintenance. I also really like about this their kickback stop technology. When the tool detects too much torque, essentially it's going to cut out entirely, which is going to protect your wrist from any damage. You know, I mean, look, It's got a side handle on it already. When you see a side handle to protect you from torque, you know this thing's going to be powerful, but they have to go one step further to make sure that you are as safe as possible. Now, we keep talking about innovation when it comes to Festool, and this is one of their latest and greatest innovations. This is the CSC SYS 50 table saw. This thing is remarkable, and there are several reasons as to why that is. First of all, you don't often say it about a table saw, but this thing is nice and portable. Now you may be thinking, Daniel, that's not possible. It is. This thing is designed to sit within your sustainer storage system. This thing itself actually becomes a full-on sustainer case along with all the accessories that come with a table saw. Fits nice and neatly, and if you have a sustainer tower, you can actually sit this within. But Festool do not rest. They always have to take it one step further, and this is absolutely mind-blowing. If you've ever used a table saw, you know how frustrating it is to change the angle and the height of the blade. And Festool have made it as easy as possible to do so because it is entirely digital. Controlling this machine is like controlling a washing machine. It is really, really easy to do. You have a nice display on the front, which is clear, easy to see, and easy to adjust. You do have 4 presets that you can choose from on the front, and you can save your own presets as well for those repeated cuts. This is also running off of an EC Tech brushless motor. Alongside from that, to power a tool this big, you are going to need maximum power, which is why this is powered by not 1 but 2 Festool 18-volt batteries. Despite the fact that this is compact and also cordless, you are not sacrificing in terms of cutting capability. With this, you're getting a maximum cutting depth of 48mm. Now, if you're working with larger material and you're thinking, oh, this doesn't look too long, not only do you have a sliding table here, but you also have extra support because you can fold this table out from the side as well. So believe me, if you're working with longer material, you are still going to be covered. Now, before we get to the last entry, we do have a couple of honourable mentions, and I guess technically they are both the Festool TS60 in 2 very different forms. Now, at the start of the video, we mentioned the TS55, and we've included that just because of how revolutionary it was to the carpentry industry. However, Festool have since made improvements on that tool, some enhancements, and that is on display with the TS60. Not only with this tool are you getting additional cross-cutting capabilities, but alongside from that, they have put in their kickback stop technology, very similar to what we mentioned with the Combi Drill. Essentially, when this detects too much torque going into the blade, it's actually going to shoot the tool up. Not only is that going to protect the blade, it's going to protect you and also the material you are cutting into. We also, though, have a very different version of the TS60. Now, this is Festool's pizza cutter, a perfect gift for anyone that is a Festool fan. Now, take it from me, I've probably had one too many pizzas, but if I was going to be cutting the pizza, I would definitely consider using the Festool pizza cutter. Last and certainly not least, we have the RTSC 400 18-volt Orbital sander. Now, we were actually quite surprised to find that this is one of the most searched for Festool products on the market. It is clear that everyone in carpentry not only wants to get their hands on one of the best plunge saws that the industry has to offer, but that also goes for their sanders as well. This thing is mightily impressive. This is 18 volt, but you'll notice on the back here that the connection is quite different because this actually runs off of a different type of Festool 18 volt batteries. This runs on the Ergo 18 volt batteries, which are designed specifically for their range of sanders. Now, the reason for this is because rather than having a big bulky 18 volt battery on the back, you're going to want something that is much easier to hold, especially with a sander. There's going to be a lot of vibration. There's going to be a lot of movement as well, and you want to make sure that the batteries are kept in good condition. So Festool have actually designed separate batteries specifically for that. This is designed, like I said, with a maximum ergonomic comfort. Now, this is going to be ideal not only for working in tight spaces, because you can see it is nice and compact, but also for working above your head. It's also worth noting that once again, this is running off of an EC Tech brushless motor for maximum efficiency and low runtime. Now, it comes standard out of the box with a nice dust collection bag, also compatible with Festool's range of dust extractors. We did do a full video video on that, which you can check out. So if you were looking for some of the most efficient sanders on the market, obviously you've got the RTSC 400, but if you need different styles of sanders, Festool have an entire range for you to check out. So there we have it, Festool's top 5 tools. Do you agree with our list? If you don't, please leave comments below as to what you think maybe we missed out. Of course, you can shop all Festool now over at rts.co.uk.